In this video, I'm going to show you how to make some quick and easy Christmas decorations for super cheap, and some of them can be made out of scrap wood. Stick around and check it out. Now, I've made all the projects on this list, but this one has to be my favorite. I made it out of 1x6s, some scrap wood, spray paint, a little bit of craft paint, and some leftover fabric that my wife had. The brims of the hat are made out of 1/8" plywood, but you can go bigger. It's hand painted on the bottom and the faces, which gives it a lot of character. Now, you can make as many as you want. You can match how many people you have in your family, or just make a generic 5. When I built this, we didn't have 5 in our family, but we do now, so that worked out nicely. But it's super simple to build, and you can do it in a day. Another feature is that this stand comes off so it stores really flat. You can see I've had this one for a long time, from the fading of the fabric and the cracking of the paint from being out in the elements for so many years. This is a cute addition to our front yard that will still last years to come. Now, I'll leave all the dimensions in the description below, but going from the outside in, they are 28.5 inches, 24 inches, and 19.5 inches. The bottom piece is about 33.5 inches. The support legs are about 11.5 inches wide, but you can change that based on where you're going to put this in your yard. This one was a lot of fun to build, so I hope you get the opportunity to go out and make one for yourself. So this is another quick build that you can probably make in a few hours with some scrap wood and some craft paint. I kind of consider this like the stick figure family on the back of cars, but it's snowmen on your front porch. You get the point. Now, we bought this one initially, and it had our daughter's name on it, so that's why we got it. But then once we had more kids, I started to add to it. Now, I've only added one more. That's my project this winter, to make the third one for our third kid. But once we made it, I wanted to reverse engineer it. So I took off the base and I took the nose off, and then I laid this down on some plywood and traced around it. Then I cut it out with a jigsaw, rounded over the edges, spray painted the whole thing white, and then used craft paint to paint all the other colors. It was a super quick and easy build that I made in a couple of hours, and you could too. Now, this one measures about 21 inches tall, but you can make them any size that you want. Now, if you wanted to store this flat, all you would do was use pocket holes to secure this upright to the back of the snowman, and then screw through the bottom, as I did here, for the very bottom support. That way you can take it apart at the end of every season, and it doesn't take up a lot of room, and it's super simple to put back together. So this one has been around for about 10 years now, and it has that really weathered look, but I kind of like that. One of these days I may give it a facelift with some new craft paint, or maybe sand it off and repaint it. But I kind of like it how it looks. They're kind of front heavy though. You may want to weigh them down. This is a really cool way to show off your family on your front porch. All right, so for the next build, we're going to go inside. The next project on the list I made because we didn't have a fireplace or a mantle at the time. So I built one, basically. So this is based off of how many people we have in our family, and obviously Rudolph is in the middle. This is a super simple build that you can do in just a few hours. It's made out of a 1x10, which I stained, and then my wife cut out some vinyl on her silhouette, and then I installed these drawer pulls that I painted. Now, if you don't have the ability to cut this vinyl out, then you can use some really cheap craft paint and make it look really good. Okay, let's move on to the next project, which is if you have a mantle or a fireplace. And for that, I'm going to turn you around. All right, this build is probably the simplest of all, and it's these stocking holders. This is a really cool way to display your past Christmas memories on your mantle. I made them out of some scrap 2x6s that I just stained and screwed together, and then added some hardware onto them. A hook for the stocking and a clip for the picture. Now, I'll leave a link in the description for the hardware that I used for this, but you can also find it at your local home center. This is a really super simple build that will take you less than an hour, but it really classes up your mantle. And if you don't have a white background, maybe you have a darker theme or a wood color for your mantle, then you can make these out of kind of a distressed white, which will be really classy as well. All right, the last build is super easy as well. I told you these were going to be quick and easy. It's a pallet tree. All you need is a pallet that's in decent shape, some green spray paint, and a bow. You could also add a little bit more flair.
Flair?
By adding some lights that'll light it up at night. And then optional is some black spray paint for the legs. Now this one packs down pretty tightly as well, considering, because I can take off one of the legs to make it all in line. Now for this build, I used some 2x4s and half lapped them for the legs. But you could just as easily use the cutoffs from the pallet. Oh, this is a heavy one. Now this is a pallet like I used. And to make this as easy as possible, you want to make one cut that goes through no nails. You don't want to mess up your saw blades. So you're going to start down here on the inside of this 2x4 so you don't hit these nails. And you're going to go all the way to the top on the outside of this 2x4 so you don't hit any of those nails. Let me show you what that looks like. Now you can do this with a track saw and then just cut along this line. Or you can just draw the line with a straight edge and then use a circular saw or a jigsaw to cut it out freehand. It doesn't have to look perfect. It's lawn decorations. So there you go, folks. 5 quick and easy projects that you can build this holiday season to bring more cheer to your home. I hope you got some inspiration for your next build, or at least got a reason to go out in your workshop and build something. So here's wishing you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and God bless you, God bless America. We'll see you next time. And cars going by. You can see that this decoration, words. Another car going by. These are all loud. Oh man, that hurts. All right, this build are these stalkers. We don't need any stalkers. All in all, this was a really cool build that will help show your family. Watch me knock it over.